Retina UK logo, working for people with inherited sight loss. Text. On 12th of October 2019, a group of 36 cyclists set off on an adventure for Retina UK. Some were visually impaired, some fully sighted, all had one goal. Their challenge was to cycle 100 miles over 2 days coast to coast, starting in Bassen-Kornzweig. Photo. Group at the start holding the Retina UK banner with arms in the air. Video of most of the group about to set off. Rick and Rachel zoom past people. Video. Stuart, Anthony, Jim and Judy pedal up the first hill. Video. Chris, Colin, Caroline and Steve cycle past waving with Intisar and Rehan setting off behind them. Video. Simon and Deborah cycle past. Video. Mike and Tom cycle towards the camera, then it changes to their GoPro footage cycling past Emily. Video. On bike footage. Overtaking Rob and Liza, Peter and Nadeem, Stuart and Anthony, Jim and Judy, and Tarek and Sally. The coast is on the left. Map video. A yellow line travels across the map showing the cycling route, Bassen-Kornzweig to Carlisle. Text. The group stopped to refuel in Carlisle, having cycled 13 miles so far. Video. On bike footage. Going down a hill into the first cheerpoint, Chris and Colin are ahead. Photo. Group shot of Mike, Tom, Clive, Steve, Stuart and Anthony at the cheerpoint. Text. They were soon back on their bikes for the next stage of the journey. Video. On bike footage, cycling between some trees with a park on the right. Video. On bike footage, cycling between trees with another tandem team in front. Video. On bike footage, cycling behind Steve and Caroline and Rick and Rachel. Video. On bike footage, cycling in the sunshine next to a field of cows. Map video showing the route from Carlisle to Lanercost Priory. Text. The second cheerpoint of the day was at Lanercost Priory, just one more push before the day's cycling is complete. Video. Tarek and Sally cycle towards the camera and into Lanercost Priory with smiles on their faces. Photo sequence at Lanercost Priory. Chris and Colin, Letitia, Simon and Deborah, Rachel and Rick, Steve and Tracy, Maddie and Isabel, Clive. Video. Stuart and Anthony set off again with Clive close behind them. Map video. Lanercost Priory to Holtwhistle. The map then zooms out to show the whole day's route. Text. They completed the first 44 miles, finishing in the lovely town of Holtwhistle. Photo sequence at the Centre of Britain Hotel. Alistair and Steve, Rob and Liza, Mike and Tom, Chris and Colin. Group photo with Brad and Tim, Caroline, Steve, Jim and Judy, Simon and Deborah, Letitia, Rick and Rachel, Peter and Nadeem, David and Paul, Richard, Paul and two Davids, Stuart, Clive and Steve. Text. That evening, after a delicious meal, Paralympic gold medal winning tandem cyclist Steve Bate MBE gave a talk and Q&A session to the cyclists. Photo of Steve Bate talking to the group. Text. Steve spoke about winning gold at the Rio Paralympics, climbing El Capitan solo and a cycle across Alaska. It was brilliant. The following day they set off again. Today they had 56 miles to complete. Photo. Group shot before setting off again. Video, on-bike footage setting off from the centre of Britain Hotel. People are waving. Video, Chris and Colin, Alistair and Steve cycle past. Video, Maddie and Isabel zoom past, then Steve and Tracy set off, followed by Clive. Video, Rob and Liza set off waving. Video, Sally and Tarek set off. Video, Caroline and Steve set off waving at the camera. Video, on-bike footage, 2 tandems in front cycling along a country road. Map video, Hot Whistle to Newborough. Text, the first stop of the day was at the Red Lion pub in Newborough and spirits were high. Photo, David and Richard with Maddie the volunteer posing with the refreshments. Video, Chris and Colin arrive at the pub. Video, Rehan and Intezar zoom in. Video, Steve, Tracy and Clive arrive, then the camera pans around to show the group, who then have a sing-song. Map video, Newborough to Corbridge. Text, it started to rain but they didn't let that stop them. Video, on-bike footage, cycling in the rain, overtaking Richard and David. Map video, Corbridge to Tyne Country Park. Text, the second stop of the day was at Tyne Country Park, where the cyclists stopped for some refreshments and bike repairs. Photo, Nadine and Rachel in the cafe. Photo, Steve and Peter repairing a bike. Text, then they were off again on the final stretch to the finish line at Tynemouth Priory. Video, on-bike footage on a path through some trees. Video, on-bike footage next to the River Tyne. Video, on-bike footage going through an arch which says Hadrian Cycleway on it. Map video, Tyne Country Park to Tynemouth Priory. The map then zooms out to see the whole day's route. Text, challenge completed. Plenty of celebrations with their Hadrian Cycleway medals and some well-deserved Prosecco. Video, on-bike footage going up the final hill. Photo sequence at the finish line. Mike and Tom, Liza and Rob. Then there's a video of Caroline popping the Prosecco. Photo sequence continued. Caroline and Steve, Richard and David, Brad, Tim, Richard and David, Steve and Alistair, Chris and Colin, Intezar and Rehan, Letitia, Rick and Rachel, Simon, Deborah and Letitia, Clive, Stuart and Anthony, Isabel and Maddie, Paul and David, Judy and Jim, Tracy and Steve. Text, the Retina UK Tandem Cycle Challenge 2019 has raised over £21,000. Thank you to the participants, volunteers and the team from Trail Breaks Biking Holidays for making this event so special. Retina UK Tandem Cycle Challenge 2019 logo. Text www.retinauk.org.uk. Retina UK is a charitable incorporated organisation, CIO, registered charity number 1153851.